Hi, I'm Lily. Welcome to my channel if you haven't been here before, or welcome back if you have. I did this video already, but it ended up being just me petting and cuddling and smooching my dog because she was being very sooky. Because I brought her brother in here, as you can tell, he's back here, our little ginger. So yeah, I'm starting it again. I've already called in all the angels and ascended masters, and especially Seraphis Bay, who is my translator. He's always very clear for me, so I always make sure to call him in because I just do a lot better with him translating for me. Sometimes guides and things can talk really fast, but for whatever reason, he's just very clear for me. So, I've had a bit of a break because the energy's been very intense, and I've got some resources that I can share with people because I don't know that much about astrology, you know, planets, stars, and where their positions are and how it affects the energy, and you know, all that's very complicated, and I've never studied it, so I don't have a clue about it. But you know, it affects everyone. And then we've been having some pretty serious solar flares in the last 2 weeks. So there's a lot being thrown at us, like especially the last 2 weeks. But I'll share some links in the comments below so that you can kind of get an idea of what we've all been going through. I've been just really tired and I suppose not really motivated, but I have been just feeling completely sapped of energy, and my body's been feeling really heavy and tired and sore. So I'm like, you know, more than usual, which is saying something. So yeah, there's been a lot of energy going around. So I've just taken a break, and I'm sure that you've probably been feeling similarly. But yeah, while I've been on my break, I've still been, you know, listening to Spirit, and they keep talking about the mirror, or the mirror, not up mirror, the mirror. Today they've been saying a mirror, so I think they want me to arrange the cards in like the shape of just like a rectangular mirror. So I'm going to try that and just let my intuition guide me, and see what they say about this mirror. I don't even know what I was reading or watching the other day, and they were like, that's the mirror, and I was like, oh, okay. So it is around, like the energy's around because other people are talking about it, and you know, everyone calls things differently. You know, we all have different names for different things. So yeah, there's other people talking about this mirror energy, but this is my take on it. And I call it the mirror because that's what they're telling me to call it. So it's obviously just a concept that that I understand. It's a card they actually want me to remove. They're like, that's your card, that's not for anyone else. For this reading, that one, because I pulled it out earlier. And they don't want it in the deck, so. Alright, so the mirror. Set that over there. Okay. Alright. Take one from the bottom. Start at the top. Right to left. They're like, yes, because you're taking it from the bottom. They're like, no, just the first two. And then these two, okay. Jeez, okay. That's interesting. Alright, I feel like I need to shuffle again. What is going on here? I have to move my table and reorganize this. Okay, Okay, they're saying this one goes in the middle, and I'll place other ones there later. Okay. Jeez. Okay, I know this is right because they've just given me the exact number of cards. They're like just fit. So I've got 4 across, 4 down, 4 across, 4 down. Alright. Okay. And then the world in the middle, which, okay, we're going to use the other deck in a minute. This one. They're already showing me these cards. Did I clear these? I don't think I probably did last time I used them. I'll just... I always take notes of the ones that fly out as I'm clearing them because they often pop out again when you're actually shuffling them to deal them out, to read them. Even though it's like, no, I'm clearing them. Clearing and putting energy in. Just so that, you know, they have to align with what Spirit wants to do with them now. Okay, so I feel like I'm going to read them clockwise, even though the top row was placed down weirdly, but, you know, if they say take it off the bottom, take it off the top, cut them in half, take one off of each, like, you know, you just have to listen. So, new beginnings in love. But there's going to be some challenge, like there's going to be a bit of hurt. And I feel like for some people this will be self-love, and for others it will be an actual like romantic love, or they've just said familial love, so your love for your family. And those relationships. So I think it's going to depend on different people, but we are dealing with love and relationships. So there'll be some new beginnings, but then there's going to be a bit of a challenge and a bit of heartbreak and feeling a bit lost and like, oh, you know, this didn't go very well, maybe I'll just go my own way. But going your own way is going to break your heart. And then people are going to spend some time looking at the situation. They're saying not seeing it with too much judgment. You know, as human beings, we're conditioned to judge things, you know, through evolution. Yes, through society, but also through evolution. You know, we had to judge, you know, am I in a threatening situation? You know, is there a bear coming? Like, you did always constantly have to be judging. Like, you know, is that caveman a good caveman or is he a bad caveman? Like, you know, so we were constantly having to judge our environment, judge people to keep ourselves safe. So there is a level of judgment that is ingrained, they're saying deeply ingrained in us. So we're trying to get away from that, which I understand. Like, I have plenty of moments where, you know, I'm judging things and I'm like, oh, like, that doesn't feel nice. I feel uneasy about thinking those things or whatever. So you sometimes have to pull back and rein yourself in. So you're going to look at a situation, but they don't want you to put too much judgment on the situation. Yeah, so it's about walking in that divine matriarch energy of holding all the love. And they're saying just letting it be. Okay, they're saying it's an attempt. So whether it's love, family, friends, self-love, there's an attempt at a new beginning at love. but then they're saying crashing and burning. So it's a failed attempt at a new beginning, a fresh start, or they're saying redo. So it's an attempt to go backwards and try something again with a fresh start. There is going to be a coming back to harmony, but it has to be coming from this matriarchal place where they're saying hold space. So you have to be able to hold space, whether it's for yourself or for other people, and just let it be. You know, there'll be people that are excited and happy for all the positive things in your life. Something that people get the most jealous about is love, because people, especially these days, are just so fundamentally lonely that to see someone else happy and in love is really hard. It's confronting. And so people don't have an easy time with it. And that's not necessarily their fault, but it's something to be aware of in ourselves, but also in other people. So if you see someone or someone you care about isn't being as supportive or as excited for you, or is not behaving in a way surrounding whatever situation you're in, to not judge that and to not judge them, because everyone's sorting through their own stuff. So it's about holding that divine matriarch energy where you just allow things to be. Now, that's not to say that you are a doormat, you know, or a piece of carpet or whatever. You don't let people walk all over you. Saying rise up if you need to, but if you don't need to, you know, assess the situation. Go, you know, okay, this is where the assessing comes in. Do I really need to step up and say, right, that's it, we're all going to sit around this table and talk about it until there's resolution, or do I just let it go? You know, is it worth fighting over or fighting for? Yeah, more fighting for it. Fighting over is, they're saying pointless. It's pointless. You know, if you have to fight over something, you've already lost. The whole thing's already lost. If anyone is in that fighting over something, just forget it, let it go. But if you're fighting for something, for reunification, for a family, they're saying don't let that go. So it depends. I think the divine matriarch is mostly a leader by example. That doesn't mean that they can't stand up and be an active leader and a commanding leader. So, you know, they're saying like muster the troops. Like, you know, it can be that energy, but I would say like 90% of the time it's of that gentle, matriarchal, motherly energy where you teach by example, and you teach, you speak your lessons and you speak your truth. Whether people choose to listen or not, that's up to them. And you pray and you hope for the best, but you just allow them, you know, whoever, them, just people in your life, to do what they need to do, what's right for them. Okay, and so they're saying that is the resolution. The resolution is mastering that energy of, and they've just highlighted the 2 swords cards, and they're like the action comes later. So that's where the matriarchal energy comes in, and to master that, not needing to sort everything and everyone, and just allowing it to be without anyone disrespecting each other or being awful. And, you know, that may be you walking away, and it may just be allowing things to just be what they are, and not getting too caught up. That's what they're saying. Not getting too caught up in the hurt feelings, or people not supporting or doing what you want them to do the way you want them to do it. Okay, I know we're transitioning into a different message now, and the messages are kind of linked. That's what I feel, but they're also not the same issue, but they're kind of linked. It's funny because most of this is hearts. I've got Ace of Hearts, Three of Swords, Five of Hearts, Knight of Hearts, Queen of Hearts, Ten of Hearts. And for me, cards have like a general feeling, and when I look at them together, I can get a picture. And obviously, it's about translating. These are kind of like a signpost and confirmation for what Spirit gives me. The major arcana has more set meanings. So yeah, I read them differently depending on what the messages are. Alright, so just want to tap into this new energy on this side. Okay, so 10 of Wands. Wands for me is like the thinking suit. And what I'm seeing is people think that they have, just these heavy, heavy burdens. But, you're not carrying anything heavy. You're carrying... I feel like people feel like they're carrying metal, metal, like a whole metals and heavy, heavy things. But it's not. It's actually, in reality, flowers. It's very light. It's just, how are you carrying it? How are you distributing the weight? And, okay, this is how it ties into the matriarchal energy. The way you carry your burdens, the thing about a matriarch is you can't sort things for other people, but as a head of the family or a head of a group of people, whatever it is your job to make people step up to the plate. So you can hand out responsibilities to people. They're saying that's part of the responsibility, is calling people to action. So you don't have to carry all these burdens on your own. This is the thing. They're not that heavy. And when you divvy them out and say, okay, I need you to do this, that's within your expertise. You're really good at that. I want you to do this for me. And, you say, right, kids, you get this done, you get this done, you get this done. And then also you can get people to work together. So yeah, it's not about getting in between two people and sorting out a situation or sorting out a family or and as it pertains to yourself, sometimes the issue with your self-love is that you're not divvying out the responsibility, and you need to be, because they're not actually that heavy. You're holding all of this responsibility and all these things you feel you have to do, when in reality, if you just took all the little things and said, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this, you need to do that, your life is going to be so much easier, and the burdens that you're left with aren't going to feel that heavy. I mean, they're not heavy as it is, but it all, every little thing adds up. But if you can muster the troops and call them to action and be like, right, you have to do this, because I can't do it alone. Yeah. So there will be some resolution with... They're saying feeling like your needs are not being met. They're saying part of that is that you're not calling people to action. You're not holding people to account in that. Sometimes it's not about really digging deep and getting into the issue. Sometimes it's just about drawing that boundary and stepping back. And, sometimes it can be like... And sometimes burdens are things that we take on from other people, and okay, they're saying handing it back. It's time to hand it back. It's not even that these things in your basket that you're carrying, they're saying forced to carry. So I feel like a lot of people are feeling like they're forced to carry something because someone's asked a favor of them or keeps asking favors. When someone is just like, oh, well, this is easy. I don't have to do that. I'll just drop my kid at their house, or I'll just ask her to do that, or him to do that. You know, sometimes it's not about unloading your burdens. It's about giving burdens back to people, because if you carry other people through this life, you're actually robbing them of the chance to live their best life. Because if people don't suffer and struggle, they don't learn anything. So you need to hand those burdens back. Yeah, and by giving away this responsibility, you're going to feel lighter and stronger and more centered in yourself. But then there's also going to be this lightness, like, oh, yes, thank God, and prosperity that comes. There'll be prosperity that comes to you because you're not holding all this responsibility, and they're saying living in survival mode, and I know all about that. So you need to relinquish that stuff. They're saying mother and crone. So you've got maiden, mother, crone, or mother, maiden, crone, like however you want to say it. So I'm feeling that this energy is of the mother to the crone. So it's not an age shift, it's a mentality. It's a wisdom shift. So it is a time of learning and transformational thought. Because the way you see your burdens, like, oh, this is my burden, I have to do this. Well, do you really? That's the thing here. It's like, well, do you really have to carry this? Is that really your burden? Or have you picked it up off someone else so that they don't have to do it? It's about holding people to account. Because if you don't force people to do that, sometimes they will never do it. So they're saying that these are old lessons, and there's a card here that I'm seeing in it and heard the words mother and crone, and this card is maiden and crone. So I feel like these are very old lessons that have been passed down from generation to generation, and it's time to lay it all out on the table and divvy it out. Yeah, the only way you're going to move forward is if everyone works together. And sometimes that does mean that you have to divvy things out and make everyone pull their weight. Because, the only thing you're doing is trapping yourself when you take on things. And actually, they're saying trapping others as well, because if you don't force people to learn, sometimes they don't learn at all. And then they can't support you, and you can't be in this happy, cohesive energy, because it's okay to rely on each other. That's not the point here. The point is not taking on the burdens of other people as your own burden. So this part of this, I think, is tied into the hearts and is in that family energy of getting people to own their own shit. And part of this is just completely separate and is us owning our own shit. And it's about rearranging the way you think about your burdens, and seeing the blessings in the burdens. Okay, they're saying now you need to pull some more cards. So I think I'm going to do the World card. So Jesus. Alright, I think that's the only one that came out. Ripeness. Okay. So I feel like to get to this place here, or no, I feel like it's up here. To get to this place of maturity, I feel like it's emotional maturity, because it's about, yes, recognizing our burdens, whether it's in our own life or from other people putting burdens on us. And we have to recognize what we decide to put in our basket. You know, what is a fruit that has ripened that is our responsibility to do with what we will. And part of it is recognizing the rotten fruit that's not serving us and is actually supposed to be in someone else's basket. Because whilst something might feel like it's a rotten fruit to us, and even to other people, it can actually turn out being a blessing. Yeah. You're going to end up fighting with yourself or fighting with other people if you don't sort this out. Okay. Yeah. I think it's just going to keep repeating now because the messages are already done. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so it's really just reiterating now. Everyone involved is just going to be miserable if you don't force people to. You can still be connected and still help people out, but you have to be very metered in how you help, who you help, when you help. You can't be this saintly mother that just helps everyone, you know, because you will run out of steam, you will run out of energy, and the burdens will become too much. But they don't have to be. They can be very light. It's your choice about what you do with them. But it's really about mastering that energy and being the master, and then just being the example for the younger generations that come along. You don't have to take on the burden of everything. Give it up. You know, it's not working. It hasn't worked in a very long time. You know, and some people will see you as the crone, but as like this greedy person that's, you know, whether it's your time or your money or whatever it is, you keeping more for yourself and forcing others to handle their own shit the way that you did when you were their age or you were in that situation. And people might resent you for it, but that's where the wisdom of the divine matriarch comes in. And you just have to let it be, because sometimes you do have to go through these growing pains with people, because it is just growing pains, because, you know, everyone who is a divine matriarch was once the maiden, you know, or the mother. It takes some time to get to that divine matriarch crone wisdom energy and knowledge and wisdom. So yeah, I keep hearing just let it be, let it be. You can't control things and create the perfect environment. So, you know, you need to be able to slow down, and if you can't do that because you've been picking up other people's burdens and other people's energy and things that other people need to be sorting, you can't do it anymore. You've got to hand it back, because otherwise you just feel like you're fighting to get a breath of air. And they're just saying that's not good enough anymore. And some people just want to not have to make the extra effort. You know, they don't want their life to be too hard, so they'll push their burdens onto other people. But you can't let people get away with that, because it's their burdens, it's their life, and they're not going to learn anything, and you're not going to learn anything if you don't push those burdens back onto them. We've all got certain things that we have to handle ourselves, and there are always times when we do genuinely need to call on other people for help. That's absolutely okay. That, the angels would never say, don't ask for help. Always ask for help. If you genuinely need it and you can't sort it on your own, of course you need to ask for help. But you can't back down and lose parts of yourself and sacrifice parts of yourself when it's other people that aren't stepping up to the plate, and they're in their own life and they're handing you their life burdens just because they can't be bothered. If you're picking fruit from a tree and it's harvest time and someone keeps throwing their fruit in your basket to carry back, you can't, because then you can't pick up all the lovely ripe fruit to put in your basket for your life. So yeah, they're saying just put the basket down, put it down and walk away. Draw that boundary, and if you get hell for it, people are judging you for it, I think that's where the heartbreak comes in, because it's fucking sucks to be judged. So you have to be cool with that. Just sit with it and just be like, you know what, it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about that, and I'm just gonna let it go. So yeah, I might take a photo of this layout because it looks pretty interesting, and it did just sort of give the messages, and then reiterate them, which is what Spirit likes to do. They like to confirm things. I just feel like that's it. I don't need to pick any oracle cards. It's just done. So that's going to be all for today. So take 3 for luck, and I'll see you next time.